Hey, it's Laurie McNaughton, the founder of Scale Up Business Performance Systems. And today I'm going to talk in my series or my episodes about success in business. And that's building that solid foundation for success in business. Over 22 years experience, 22 years I've been coaching business owners and their teams and creating more success, more freedom, more profit, more fun, more excitement, less stress, less overwhelm, less anxiety, all that kind of stuff in business. And no, I have never been a nine-figure entrepreneur. I say that in jest because uh, if you've seen this person's ad, you know what I'm talking about. I don't need to say it anymore. I'm a very successful business coach. I've been doing this for a long time. And I see the patterns in businesses and I see the mistakes that they make. And I know the solutions to solve those challenges. My primary focus is a business that has to have a team of at least 5 people, up to 50, maybe even more. It doesn't really matter if you're talking about leadership and communication. But anyway, today's topic is all about culture. I remember when I first heard culture and started in the coaching industry, and we talked about culture, and I wasn't even exactly sure what it was. But I'm going to give you my best explanation as to what culture is in a business. And for me, it's energy. It's a feeling. If you ever walk into a conference or somewhere where there's a speaker, or maybe in a really exciting business or a fun event or whatever, you get this feeling around that. Or maybe you've gone to an event where it was the exact opposite. And you walk in there and you go, wow, what is that all about? That's what culture is. It's a feeling, it's energy inside a business. So I asked the question, do you have, a culture of fear or safety? And what I mean by that is that if people are afraid to lose their jobs, or afraid, they're walking on eggshells when they're inside that business, they're not able to access the best of who they are because they're in, and you guys have probably heard this before, fight, flight, or freeze, which is your survival system. And it fires up. And so they never can access the best of who they are because nobody accesses the best of who they are when they're under fight, flight, or freeze. Now, having said that, in an emergency situation, uh, that's not a bad trait to have because typically people that um, function well under that type of situation solve those emergency problems. And when I'm talking about emergencies, I'm not talking about the kind of things that happen in a business. I'm talking about life-threatening emergencies. So, do you have a culture of safety where people feel heard? People feel safe to be able to say what's on their mind. People feel safe to express themselves and put up their hand and say, listen, I'm not sure how to do this. I could use with some help. Do they feel safe to do that? Because if they do, you're going to move forward. They're going to move forward. Do you have growth in your business, culture of growth, or is it stagnation? Do you have people who are leading or people who are following? Do you have people who take ownership or blame other people? These are all patterns that you see inside a business, especially when you're looking from the outside in. Oftentimes, when you're in a business, when you're in that culture, you can't see because you're just sort of buried in it. There's an old, not a metaphor, but anyway, a story. It goes like there's an old fish and a young fish swimming in a pond, and the old fish swims by the young fish, and the young fish says to the old fish, "Hey, how's the water?" And the old fish says, "What water?" So the metaphor there is that the old fish has been swimming around that water for so long he doesn't even notice it anymore. Sometimes when you're in your business and it's chaos and the culture is bad, the energy's bad, all that stuff, you just think that that's normal. You just feel that that's natural. So, do you have a culture of getting things done, or are people making excuses, or do you have people that are again holding themselves accountable, or are they blaming other people or making excuses? That's what culture is all about, and that is one of the building blocks of a solid foundation for building a company that grows, thrives, and profits. And even when you're not there, even when you're on vacation, in fact, oftentimes, and a lot of my clients have experienced this over the years, so they go, I can't believe it, but actually the place might run a little bit better when I'm not even there. So you can do that. You can build a business like that. It starts with a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about with this foundation. I've talked about leadership, vision, strategy, accountability, communication. And then today, really bringing them all together is culture. Actually, there's more because I'm going to talk about hiring, onboarding, all that kind of stuff. This is all related to building a culture of growth, a culture of thriving, a culture where your team steps up to the plate and helps you build this crazy, powerful, successful business that provides you with an amazing lifestyle, but also helps them fulfill all their hopes, dreams, and desires and their goals, because that's your job. This is my philosophy. You can choose to accept it or not accept it. Your job as the owner of the company is to create this place where people can come and fulfill their hopes, dreams, and desires and reach their goals in life. And when they're fulfilled, they're going to help you. They're going to help you build that business and fulfill that business. So, how do you build a great culture? It starts with a lot of the stuff that I've already talked about: leadership, communication, accountability, hiring, onboarding. I'm going to talk about those in separate episodes. But for today, the word of the day is culture. Look it up in the internet. And if you want to find out how working with me will help you accelerate that whole process, because my job as the coach is to take something that would take you a year or 2 or 3 or 5 years and get it down into months or a year. Like I've seen literally transformation in businesses in 12 months, going dramatically from like 6 figures to 7+ figures in business, but also where the business owner is taking a deep breath and going, "Oh my God, I can't believe I can feel this good. I haven't felt like this for a long time." Anyway, if you want to know more about how that might work for you, in the link, as always, there is pardon me, in the link in the description, there's a link where you can book a discovery call with me. This is not a sales pitch. Listen, it's 15 minutes, give or take 5 minutes, where I'm just going to ask you some questions so I can understand where you're at in your business, where you want to be, and what you see is the things that are holding you back, holding the company back from fulfilling this desired dream of building a successful. And I always define that as a profitable business that runs without you. And so I'll help, pardon me, I'll create some clarity around that. And if you think there's some value, you like me and I like you, and there's some value, we'll book a complimentary coaching session. That's up to 90 minutes long, where I will dive in way deeper to understand the causes of these things. Because I always look at it, if you're working too hard, you're not making enough profit, or you have a dysfunctional team, those are merely symptoms. I need to understand what the causes are. I'll talk about what the solutions are. And if you feel like, yes, this is the direction I want to go, I'm excited. What do we need to do to get started? We'll put a program together that works for you. And yeah, we'll look at how do we transform your business in 12 months or less. Anyway, Laurie McNaughton from Scale Up Business Performance Systems. Thanks again for listening. Stick around because there's going to be more great information like this for you in your business.